Hi, my name's Fraser Barnett. I'm a student in the master's program for psychology at Bremen University. This is the clinical stimulation for PSYU 541. I originally had my brother and his girlfriend as the two people for the simulation, but that changed. So now I have two new people, two of my neighbors, Kevin and Allie. Here's the form with their signatures on it. And I have a copy of that if that's needed. So first, I'd like to introduce my two people, my couple. This is Kevin. So Kevin, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
And then Allie's his wife.
Yes. Hello.
All right. So my name's Fraser, guys. Nice to meet you. Welcome to therapy. First thing, I want to explain confidentiality with you both. Everything that is said in this session will remain in this session, in this room. Mm-hmm. Nothing will go outside of there unless you want a release of information, letting me talk to others, mm-hmm. or letting others talk to me about either one of you. So first of all, any ROIs you guys want to make, the releases of information?
Probably our good friends, Brian and Megan.
Brian and Megan? Okay, I'm going to make a note of that. Okay. And that's inbound and outbound? So I can talk to them, they can talk to me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what brings you guys to couples therapy today? What can I do for you?
Well, I've noticed that Kevin has been having a little bit of a funk lately, and he's been shutting down lately, and he won't tell me why, and that's causing a little bit of issue at home. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of where he's currently working.
Mm-hmm. Where are you currently working, Kevin?
Mechanic.
Okay. So you're a mechanic at a shop?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. So have you always been feeling this way towards the job, or is this more of a recent thing?
I think it's more of a recent development in the last 12 months or so.
Okay. So define the problem for me specifically.
Feel underappreciated at work for the work I do. Constantly going above and beyond for my employer, getting no verbal recognition. Mm-hmm. Been there almost 3 years, have yet to receive any kind of financial compensation as far as, merit increase for, work earned. I'm making him more money, but not seeing any of the benefits of making him more money. Mm-hmm. So just puts me in a funk that I feel like, I'm not doing a good enough job for him, or maybe he's just a horrible boss.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so part of it is that you can't decide which one it is, whether he's a horrible boss or you're not doing a good job or something like that.
No, I feel I'm doing a really good job being a junior tech there. I just feel that David is a selfish boss.
Okay.
And needs to go through some management classes maybe and learn how to treat his employees a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's a great place to start this session. Allie, can you tell me what your definition of the problem is more specifically?
Was regarding to like him being in the funk and stuff. I've noticed he's taking it out on little things at home, mm-hmm. and when I ask him what's going on, he won't give me a straight answer, or he won't even say anything. He'll just shake his head and not talk about it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go, turn around, and then one little thing that the kids do, and he's all up in not their face, but he's all up in the air about what it is, and it can be something so minor, and that usually triggers, hey, something's going on. So that's what I see it, how I see it in the situation, and I know that's usually not him when he's in a good mood. So.
Mm-hmm. So you see a definite change.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a good place to start here. So those are the main things that we're going to talk about during the session. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Because we're going to work on this specific issue.
Some more underlying depression with involving my parents and my relationship with them.
Okay. All right.
We'll circle back to that later, though.
We'll come back to that. Okay. So I'll ask you first, Allie. What behaviors are maintaining the problem at this point in regards to your husband?
What behaviors?
Mm-hmm.
So like they shutting down, not expressing what's going on. There's a little bit of, anger on, what's going on, and he's not being able to explain it, so he's getting frustrated, and then just taking it out on whatever's wrong at home.
Mm-hmm.
And building it up to that point, I think, is one of the big issues too.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you feel about what she just said, Kevin?
Pretty accurate, and sums up how I deal with my depression.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time verbalizing what's wrong, and I don't know. I always feel like it's kind of my problem. I should just deal with it and not drag anyone else into it. But
mm-hmm.
it's kind of counterproductive, I guess.
Yeah, because what she's saying is that maybe you are bringing other people into it. Is fair enough to say, right?
Yeah.
So you agree with that? Okay. Now, how do you what behavior do you see maintaining the problem?
Well, I mean, I guess it's more or less, my attitude towards work.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if I had a brighter outlook towards work and not such a negative one, maybe I wouldn't be so depressed if I try to look at the brighter side. Hey, I have a job.
Hey, there you go.
Rather than
that's a good thing to look at, right?
Dwell on, hey, I'm not getting paid enough for what I'm doing, or even finding a solution to the problem and looking for a different job.
I see.
I could, be doing all those other things to kind of change the behavior aspect on that, but it's a vicious cycle. And we get depressed, don't want to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Get kind of stuck in my own head and don't want to talk to anyone. So.
Well, I appreciate you guys both being here for that and to talk about it. Any complaints that you guys have outside of what you've already mentioned? Okay, so if one comes to you, by all means, let us know. Kevin?
Sometimes I feel that, especially with me not being able to express my depression and talk about it, and my anger issues surrounding the depression, I feel like I'm left solely to discipline the kids at some points, and that also adds to the frustration and anger level, and so it kind of compounds and builds off of that. So little assistance instead of just be me, kind of one of those, hey, Ken's upset, go away, I'll take care of this kind of deal, to avoid, I don't know, further explosion with anger.
Like having a space.
Yeah.
So have like a man cave where you can kind of run away to for a little bit, maybe, or a safe spot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a drive or a count to 10 kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I've kind of gathered from talking to you both about this is that, so there's definitely the depression is what's kind of kickstarting the whole thing, but what starts before the depression is the job, right? And then you also mentioned you had some family issues as well with your parents.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so from there, it kind of trickles down. The depression turns to anger because you don't know how to talk about it effectively.
Correct.
Maybe. Okay. And then that results in anger towards the wife and kids.
Correct.
Okay. And Allie, is there anything that you do in response to that may be seen also as counterproductive? No judgments there at all by that statement.
Trying to find out what's wrong, and I think that pushes him too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I'm asking him what's wrong and he's just not giving me an answer, I think I'm making him more frustrated.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I should probably not do that when he's shutting down like that.
Okay.
But me being the caring, nurturing one, I want to know what's wrong so I can fix it. And
of course.
That sometimes can be a negative thing.
Okay. All right. Well, that's some part of the solution we've already kind of found out too. It's part of the goals. some behaviors we can change a little bit. I also heard you said that I don't know if the exact word you said was punish the kids. What, do they get grounded? Or?
Yeah, grounded. Electronics taken away.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Go up in your room, sit on your bed, think about what you did, or I need you to tell me why you did this, and or why you're not doing a specific chore. How we've shown you how to do it. Why are you doing it so lazy?
Oh, I see.
Half-assing, basically.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. So I've heard you say a lot about what the problem is. Any types of attempted solutions? I heard Allie, you said that you ask him what's wrong, and you said that kind of snowballs it and sometimes makes it worse. Maybe not all the time, though?
It's like 50-50.
Like, okay, so it's variable.
Yeah.
You don't really know. It's heads or tails at that point,
Yeah,
huh?
pretty much.
Okay. Okay.
Though, so having that, or something like where he would say, just not right now, and me actually listening to that would probably help.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's an attempted solution. Is that 50-50 too? Does that solution kind of help?
It's what, 50-50 now? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It honestly, it just varies on the level of depression of the
severity
any given day. So I mean, it's if I'm really depressed, I don't talk to anyone. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to be left alone.
And what do you do when you're left alone?
Sit in my chair and watch TV.
Okay.
Because I don't have to think to do that. I don't have to feel to do that. That's a no-brainer, basically, for me.
Okay, so you just want to shut down, shut off for a little bit. Actually, not shut down, but shut off for a little bit, kind of just recharge, perhaps?
Just disconnecting.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad coping skill by any means. Sometimes people need to kind of recharge, so that's a good thing,
Yeah.
Are there any rules in your house that are making the problem better or worse?
We just finalized some really good rules with the kids that seems to have progressed in a positive way.
Oh, okay, good.
Which is good. The kids are more focused, especially when they're in school, because the grades are a part of, if your grades are good, then
of course.
You're okay.
I understand that. Okay.
Yeah, so the grades are the first one, and then the daily chores that they have, they stay up to speed with those. And then any above and beyond chores are also an extra bonus for them. But if they don't do any of their daily chores and their grades drop, they don't have electronics for the weekend.
Oh, I see.
So that's like a big factor, especially for our son. That's a huge factor because he's a big gamer. So if he doesn't get electronics, he can't go online and play Call of Duty with his friends and his crew. So and then he gets all upset about that. So he tries to be productive, and he has been lately on getting his stuff done in a timely fashion, and that definitely seems to help out as far as staying on task with his stuff and the rules of that rule in the house. Make sure your dailies are done.
So there's reinforcement there then.
Yes. Oh yes, on both parties. Basically, we noticed a decline in, especially Chase, his grades, and so during the school, I call it his work week. His school is his job right now. No electronics. As soon as you get home, phone gets plugged in downstairs. You go do your homework. If you don't have time to do your chores because homework took too long, we let you. It doesn't matter what the chore is, that can slide. But as long as you don't have any bad grades, and I told him that has to be above a D because
above a D's passing, right?
Yeah, he wants to play football, and you have to have 2.0 average, so you can't have any D's or else you can't play football. So I'm trying to get him in that mindset. I need to have good grades to do well, so I can do the things I want to do. And so if he has a D, and we check at the end of the week, he can't play video games for the weekend, and then he gets sad and depressed, and he starts half-assing his chores, which kind of comes back a little to the anger, like, why are you half-assing this? I kind of answered my own question there. Well, he's depressed, so why is he going to want to work harder?
So do you almost see kind of a similar loop there as yourself, maybe a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe similarly, not exactly.
No, definitely there's similarities there. But yeah, since we've implemented the whole homework thing during the week and no electronics, his grades have skyrocketed.
Good. Excellent.
He's become better with time management. So he's able to get his homework done, he gets his chores done, and so that way he earns his extra money for the weekend, so that way he can go to the movies and go and do whatever he wants to do and have his cell phone and all this stuff. So
have a life outside work, school, and all that.
yeah.
That's how reality is. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so the determined rules have been helping the house altogether then, right?
Yes, it's especially the rules with the kids has definitely helped with us too.
Take some of the pressure off you guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, excellent.
And we actually have it like written down or typed out and hung on the dry erase board. Like,
okay.
Well, because that way the kids can't be like, well, I did this chore. I'm like, well, no, you didn't do the chore because that chore includes doing this and this. It's like when I tell the kids to do the dishes, that includes wiping down the counters, the stove. That's part of doing the dishes in my eyes. So there's
kitchen stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So there's no argument. Well, I did dishes. Well, why aren't the counters? That's part of dishes. So it's all highlighted there. They know what's expected. And it's not her and I arguing, well, no, I said that was fine. I'm like, no, we decided that this was this. No, it's in black and white, so I can't argue it. She can't argue it. The kids can't argue
it. It's either yes or no.
Yeah.
There's no gray area.
Exactly.
All right. Good deal. Just to let you guys know, we're currently at 16 minutes. So we're doing good. Okay. So the rules are working. Are the rules working? What about rules for when depression hits you and for when you see the downslide of the depression? Do you guys have any rules for the depression and for how you react to his depression?
We don't, and we should. When he says he needs a minute, I should give him a minute.
Okay.
Because that would probably help out.
So I'm making a note of these. This is going to be part of the treatment plan at the end, okay? How do you feel about that, Kevin?
I think it would help because that way I'm not feeling like pressured into giving a response and having to express myself. It'll give me time to
kind of soak it up.
Yeah, compose myself so I can figure out how I want to express my depression at that given time.
Okay. So when you say you're going to give him a minute, Allie, like realistically between the two of you, how much is quote unquote a minute? Is that literally a minute or is it like 30 minutes, an hour? How much time are you going to give him so that you guys can communicate effectively on that?
I think it's until he's ready to come and talk to me. So I would have to come and say, okay.
And does that depend on the depression level?
Yeah.
Okay. So between the two of you guys, some homework I can give you is to talk more about that with each other. Definitely figure out the variability there. So if he's having a really bad day, maybe give him a little bit more time, and but on the same time, so that's her rule, right? And that's your rule too. But what could your rule be that would help her? Because she's going to give you a minute. What are you going to give back to her? So that it's fair, almost.
I can, after she gives me a minute, even if my depression is to a point where I don't feel like talking, I can force myself to, at least, engage conversation. Maybe not necessarily about what's bothering me, but I can at least talk so there is a line of communication so that way she doesn't feel like she's not being there for me sometimes, or she doesn't feel like, I'm not doing anything to help his depression. But that way, we're still communicating, just maybe not about the specific issue until I'm ready to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I can just force myself to talk about it, I guess.
Okay.
But
as long as you're comfortable with that, though?
Yeah. I mean, as long as I keep the line of communication open, and
Okay.
not completely shut down. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a big step for me, because when I'm really depressed, I won't even talk.
Okay. I heard you say that TV is kind of your coping skill, how you kind of unplug from reality for a little bit. So I heard we've been saying how Allie's going to give you a minute, and then your way of making that even is to engage with her at the quickest time possible to communicate. So I would say maybe a middle ground there too would maybe be, while you're watching TV, maybe include her too.
Like in watching TV with me,
Yeah.
or just in conversation while watching TV?
Just watching TV.
Oh yeah, no, I mean she'll be in the room with me. It's not like she has to be out of the room.
Oh, okay.
It just, I won't feel like talking to anyone. It just blinders on.
Blinders on. Okay.
But no, it's never to the point where I don't want her around me.
Okay.
I mean, there's times where I'll say I need my bro time, and I'll go to my friend Brian, and I'm like, hey man, let's go do something to like kind of clear my head.
Okay.
Like hands-on working kind of helps refocus me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the depression has been getting better as of lately, so I haven't had to really do a whole lot of that lately.
Okay.
But no, she is included in the when I disconnect to the TV.
Okay, so you guys are still like close together.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well that's good. So let's talk about those were some rules, and those were some clear and reachable goals there. Any additional clear and reachable goals that we can figure out?
I think when the depression hits and the kids are around, to just let them do what they do and not nitpick.
Okay.
That could be one that could be
Okay.
worked on. Because it's not you basically reacting to the kids, it's the depression reacting to the kids.
Yeah, you have to remember to. This doesn't specifically go with family therapy. This is more of just a general thing. You have to remember the problem is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the problem. It's a separate entity from yourself. Okay. Because you don't say, I am depression. You say, I may have depression.
Yeah.
It's something no one wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, clear, justified there. So making some behavioral changes, definitely here. Maybe using some coping skills, finding time to relax. And also, whatever you use as your behavioral intervention, whether it's watching TV, hanging out with the guys, playing with the kids, whatever, making sure that there's that active line of communication at all times, making sure the rules are followed. Whatever rules aren't working, change the rule for sure, so that it does help. You guys also said no nitpicking. That's a great behavioral intervention when you start to feel like maybe it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
What could you do at that point?
Like if I see it happening on his end, maybe get like a keyword or something to let him know, but maybe I should take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if that's what we could do, or
Well, I mean, if you see that I'm just being overly nitpicky, we can use the word that we have, back burner, and just
Back burner. Okay,
yeah.
that's cool.
From a previous counseling session, or because it was to the point where I was the only one disciplining the kids, and she wouldn't do anything. So my voice I would basically start yelling at the kids because they're not listening to me, and she wasn't doing anything. So the counselor was like, "Well, if you see him starting to get to that point, you need to say back burner." I shut up basically, and either walk away. I can't say anything. She handles the discipline. So I think that if she sees that I'm getting nitpicky over the little stuff that I shouldn't be, she can tell me back burner. I have to stop, and I can go away.
And you can use that the other way around. You have the power to do that too sometimes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's use that as a behavioral intervention as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, the depression was the big one recently.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So make sure you're taking good self-care, Also, they say that lots of sunlight too, a healthy diet, lots of sleep, those kinds of things really help. So make sure you incorporate those into your household as well. I mean, it's whatever you want to take from this session. By all means, do that. But yeah, start to see what works and start to see what doesn't, and then write those things down. Maybe keep a journal if you guys are interested. That's another intervention you could probably do. Okay?
That'll work.
So our session is about over. Any final questions or complaints? Anything like that?
At this time.
Did that clarify? Did that help out at all?
Oh,
It
yes.
helped out, yeah.
Okay. Just being able to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for coming in, and we'll see you guys next week, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. No problem.